accumulate, only the best ones rise to the top. And the woke warriors know that they cannot win in an open contest of ideas, so they use control. Control is the reason why we are so divided in this country, my friends. Why does control divide people? Because if one person gets more control, someone else has to get less. People fight over control, and that's why they're divided. Freedom is different. It is infinite. If your neighbor gets more freedom, you don't get less, you get more freedom. If your Muslim friend gets more religious freedom, you as a Christian, Sikh, or Hindu will have more religious freedom, right? If your small businessman in the neighborhood gets more economic freedom from red tape, you'll have the freedom to buy his products more affordably. Your teenager might have the freedom to go and get a job working for him. One person's freedom is another person's freedom. And that's why while we fight over control, we fight for freedom. Let's stop, divide, and conquer, and let's unite for freedom. Our Charter of Rights and Freedoms defines the most elemental freedom of all, the freedom without which you can have no other freedom, and that is the freedom of expression. Section 2B. To be or not to be? That is the question. As Shakespeare would put it, my answer is this. A Poilievre government will repeal C-11, and I will require every university that wants federal funding to commit to upholding freedom of expression for students. Getting close to the end. You know that this is my last rally tour before the big day. Can you imagine that? It's winding down, this big, long leadership race. We've had 77 rallies like this one across the country. Over 90,000 people RSVP'd. You've all been a big part of my life. I've gone to events, and I make a rule every time I go to one of these things. I stand and I stay and I shake every single person's hand until the place is empty. Every single person who wants to meet me gets a chance to meet me. And what that means is that, no, thank you. It's a great privilege. It's a great privilege. And I've heard a lot of stories. People come to me and they wait in line for an hour and they tell me their stories. And they tell me some incredible things. You know, the soldier who served our country and risked his life in the most dangerous place on earth, the Kandahar province of Afghanistan, and came back with medals only to lose his job just because of a personal medical decision. Or the miner I met in Timmins, who wasn't able to afford the $2.50 a liter diesel to drive to Thunder Bay to see his dying parents one last time. Or the guy taping up his work boots in St. John's, Newfoundland, because he can't afford new ones. Or the countless young people who did everything we asked them to do. They worked hard, they got their degree, they got a job, and still they can't even dream of ever owning a house. The people who feel like they've been bullied and pushed around, that the government looks down on them and calls them horrible names just for expressing their values and standing up for their rights. You know something? I've heard these stories, and I've heard them directly from the people telling them. They've looked me in the eyes, and they have shared their hearts with me over this campaign. A lot of people have said that my supporters are angry. But you know what I've seen in those people's eyes? I have seen pain. I have seen suffering. I've seen people who are just hanging on by a thread. And I wanted you to know what else I've seen. I've seen hope. I've seen people come to our rallies with hope in their eyes. It's going to get better. I have seen hope from the immigrant who came here to work as a doctor but has been blocked from getting a license, that one day we can incentivize our provinces to allow a merit-based system so those doctors can actually work as doctors. That we can stop stopping and start starting to get houses built, to get pipelines built, to get jobs going, to get paychecks growing, to get our life more affordable so that people can afford to fulfill their dreams. I have seen hope from the countless immigrants who came here for a better life, to escape tyranny in another faraway land, and to earn a better living for themselves and for their children, that dream will once again be achieved because of the incredible movement that we are putting together here today. I see hope for those people. And I would the same hope that I had as a child. I was adopted from a 16-year-old unwed mother who just lost her own mom, and so couldn't raise me. I was adopted by 2 school teachers, and they always taught me that it didn't matter where I was coming, where I came from. It mattered where I was going. It didn't matter who I knew, but what I could do. And I have hope that that's what the country is going to be again. Nothing wrong with this country that cannot be fixed by what is right with this country. We have hope. We have hope that, in the words of the great John Diefenbaker, I am a Canadian, a free Canadian, free to speak without fear, free to stand for what I think right, free to oppose what I believe wrong, free to worship God in my own way, free to choose those who shall govern my country. This heritage of freedom I pledge to uphold for myself and for all of mankind. Thank you very much, folks.